Lately, I have been obsessed with Factory Funner. So let's do a solo playthrough of this fun, challenging, puzzly game. But first, let's go through setup and how to play. I'm going to be setting up a solo game, but setup for a solo game and a multiplayer game is almost exactly the same. So I'll just note the differences along the way.
First, each player gets a factory board. In a multiplayer game, all players get a board with the A side face up. And in your first solo game, you will also use the A side. But each factory board also has a B side, and you can see that they're numbered 1 through 6. So if you get 50 or more points on a solo game, on the A side, then you get to move up to the next level, which is B1. If you get 50 or more points on B1, then your next game you'll move up to B2. But if you score too few points, you might have to go back down and retry a level. Each player gets 3 white output reservoirs, as well as 1 supply reservoir in each of the 4 colors, and a stack of 8 randomly selected machine tiles face down. Place out the scoring board. Each player starts with $10. Place the black output reservoirs where everyone can reach them, as well as the clear chips. Then we need to place the connectors where everyone can reach them. I personally like to just keep them in the top of the box. Then, if you're playing with 2 or more players, you'll place out the last token. And if you're playing with 3 or more players, you'll also place out the first token. But these are not needed for a solo game, so I'll just put them back in the box.
Over the course of 8 rounds, players will be trying to add these machine tiles to their factory to build the most efficient factory that they can and earn money. Players will have an opportunity to earn money every round if they're able to place a machine tile into their factory, and at the end of the game, if their machine tiles are fed by other machine tiles instead of by reservoirs. Each round is played over the course of 3 phases. You've got the selection phase, the connection phase, and the bookkeeping phase. In a solo game, the selection phase is simply revealing the top tile from your stack of machine tiles. That's the machine tile you'll be trying to place into your factory for that round. In a multiplayer game, all players are going to simultaneously reveal the top tile from their stack of machine tiles, and then it's first come, first serve. The first person to grab a machine tile that was just revealed claims it. However, in a multiplayer game, there is a penalty for not placing a machine tile that you claimed. No such penalties exist in a solo game. Once everybody has their machine tiles, then it's time to move on to the connection phase. This is where players try to connect their newly acquired machine tile and make it work in their factory.
Before we get into actually connecting a machine tile, we need to talk about what these numbers and pips on these machine tiles actually mean. The number in the center of the tile is how many dollars you will earn if you successfully place this machine tile into your factory. The pips signify input. So if I was to place this machine tile into my factory, I would need a green input of at least 1. And that could come from another machine tile or my green supply reservoir. The numbers signify outputs, so this machine tile could power up to 3 pips of blue inputs on another machine tile. You can also feed outputs to one of your 3 available white reservoirs, as long as they're one of the 4 colors: green, blue, yellow, or pink. This machine tile would require at least 1 green input, 2 yellow inputs, and 2 pink inputs, and it would produce 2 pink outputs. But you would get $12 for successfully placing this into your factory. As far as actually placing your machine tiles into your factory goes, the rules say, in general, when placing machines and connectors, if it makes logical sense, it is legal. If it seems like wishful thinking, it probably is. But there are a few key rules to remember as you're placing your machine tiles. First, it's free to place machines into your factory, but every other piece that you place while connecting your machine tile costs $1. That means any connectors, supply reservoirs, or output reservoirs. While you're placing your machine tile, you may need to move or remove another piece from the board, and that's legal, But if you put it back onto the board, you have to pay that $1 to place it again, even if that's just taking a connector and rotating it slightly in its same space. However, you may never move a machine tile placed on a previous turn. Once a machine tile is placed, that's where it stays for the rest of the game. If any inputs are completed using another machine tile, cover those pips with a clear chip. And your connectors can cross each other, but they can't share a hex edge. So, for example, this would be legal right here. This would not be legal. This would be legal, but if I tried to do this, that would not be legal. Now let's actually place this tile as if it was our first machine tile in our factory. I would just start it right here. And since this one is only worth $4, I'm not going to waste a lot of money on extra parts trying to spread things out around the board. I'm just going to use my green supply reservoir and one of my white output reservoirs. Now my machine is fully powered and it would earn me $2, $4 for the original value of the machine tile, minus 2 for each additional piece I used to hook it up into my factory. Now let's add this one as if it was the second machine tile into my factory. First, we're going to take off this white output reservoir, and then we're going to figure out where to place this machine tile to connect it most easily to this 3 output of blue. We could use the supply reservoir, but I really want to hook it to this other machine because that will get us points at the end. And that's really what we're doing this for. Obviously, this won't work though because this thing's in the way. We need to be able to get these 3 green input fed back to the supply for the green. We'll just scooch it out a bit and then add a connector right here. Now this pink output has to go somewhere, so we'll just use one of our white output reservoirs. And then we need to get this green supply reservoir routed all the way up to our 3 green pips. We'll do that by placing some connectors. There's 1, 2, a third one. That one isn't quite right though, so how about a curved one here? And then we'll put the straight one down, and now it's fully connected. Now for how much we actually earned. We started with 7, but we placed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. So we would earn $1 for this.
At this point, players gain or lose money based on the value of the machine tile they just placed, minus any other components they used to connect it. That could be reservoirs or connectors. And if you're playing a multiplayer game, be sure to deduct or add any penalties or bonuses for any first or last tokens or any penalties for not placing your machine tile. Once all scoring for the round is done, then it's time to proceed to the selection phase of the next round, or if it's the end of the 8th round, then it's time to move on to final scoring. You'll know it's the end of the 8th round because everyone's stack of machine tiles will be empty. This kind of serves as a round tracker. The only thing that has to be scored at the end of the game are any pips that players manage to cover with one of these little discs throughout the game. For each pip that you manage to cover with one of these discs, you get 3 additional dollars at the end of the game. In a multiplayer game, whoever has the most money wins. In a solo game, you're trying to get to $50 in order to move on to the next board. However, if you get less than $45 in a solo game, you'll have to go backwards, unless you're on the first board because you can't go backwards, obviously. Now, how about we get into the solo playthrough?
The first thing I'm going to do before we even start is swap out this stack of machine tiles because I felt like I had dug all through that and it kind of felt like cheating. Anyway, we've got a fresh stack of tiles and we're ready to play. All right, let's draw our first tile. This is a nice easy one to start with. We'll just put it right here. And then I think I'm just going to put things like right next to it, even though I usually try to spread things out a little bit. This one isn't worth a lot of money, so we're just going to plop the reservoir right next to this 3 output. Then we're going to need something for these 2 yellow pips. We'll just use our yellow supply reservoir and put it right there. And this machine tile is only worth $2, so we're just going to break even on this. No money gained or lost, which is fine. And honestly, I think we're off to a pretty good start. Everything's placed well, so yeah, let's go ahead and draw our next tile. All right, we've got some more green output. So let's just think about where we could possibly put this. We could put it right here. Maybe, honestly, I think this might work. Now we just need our input. So we'll grab this pink supply reservoir. Now, where do we want to put it? We could put it right up against the machine tile, or we could kind of spread it out a little bit to try to make it easier to place future machine tiles. So now we just need to grab a connector. There we go. Now our 3 pink pips are powered, and we just need somewhere for this green output to go. There we go. Now we need to figure out how many pieces we put down and how much money we earned. We started with $6 for the machine tile originally, minus 3 for the extra parts we put out, so $3. That's what we're going to earn. Yeah, $3. All right, next tile. Okay, now we've actually got some blue output, maybe, coming into the mix here. Let's think about this. I actually feel like this is a really good addition to my factory. We've got some blue output. We just have to think about what's going to be the best place to put it. Like if we put it up here, how could I get this blue output to power a future machine? I don't know. Maybe somewhere else. Because our blue supply reservoir is still off the board, so we can put that anywhere. I actually think this might be a really good spot for it. It's just that I've already used 2 of my 3 available white output reservoirs. And if I use my third, then I won't have any. So if I place this machine tile this round, I have to connect something next round or hope that I get a tile with some black output. But I think I'm just going to go for it because I think it's going to fit really well right here, and I'm just going to stay hopeful that I get what I need next round. Now, where to place the blue supply reservoir? Right next door? I mean, that would work. Although it would kind of make it so I couldn't get through here if I needed to later. I think we're just going to have to deal with that if it becomes an issue in the future. This is where we're putting it. Now we just need to get this yellow to the supply reservoir. So we've got some handy dandy connector tiles. 2 of those, and we need 1 more. There we go. We've got that fully connected. We've got this machine tile fully connected. We used 5 extra pieces, so we'll get $2. We've made $5 so far. We're really crushing it. Next tile. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what I was hoping for. And it looks like we've also got an input here that is pink and yellow, so we can power that with either pink or yellow. So black output doesn't have any numbers. We just have to use the black output reservoir with it. And then I'm thinking I might have this pink or yellow part towards the yellow reservoir. And then maybe we can use this blue output. I don't know. We'll see how it all works out. But I think this is going to work right here. Actually, I think this is like meant to be. Now we have this white output reservoir back in our possession if we decide to keep things like this round. But honestly, I don't see why not, because I think this is going to be very easy to connect right here. We just need like a Y-shaped connector and then a curved one. Let's see. Yep, that right there. And there we go. We're all connected. We get this white reservoir back, so we can use that on future rounds. And I kind of like bumped these connectors, so let me just clean that up. Now, how much money did we earn? The tile started at 8 and we used 3 pieces, so we're going to get $5. Before I forget, we need to put a clear chip onto these pips that we have powered using another machine tile. Very important. We're going to get money at the end of the game for that. Okay, there's our $5 and we're ready for the next tile. Ooh, got a lot going on this one. Now, where can this go? We've got some different outputs on this one, which is nice. But how could I fit this in? I mean, this yellow output could power at least the tile up top with the 2 possible colors. This game really gives me some analysis paralysis. Not gonna lie. Where could this go? And we don't necessarily have to place this one because there are no penalties for not placing them in a solo game, but I do like that I could use this yellow output because I only have 1 white reservoir left. I would have to use the yellow output unless we used one of these greens to power this green input here. Decisions. In a perfect world, I would put it right here, but that just will not work. What would we have to move to make this fit? I don't know. I don't think I'm in love with this tile. I don't know. Where could it go? I really wish it could go right here. Like, that would be perfect. 2 yellow, 2 yellow. But no, that will not work. That will not work. Where could we put it over here? We could move the pink supply reservoir. We're not married to having it there. It would just cost to replace it somewhere else. Maybe here? Maybe? But where would the yellow go? I don't have enough white output reservoirs for this to work. And I dang sure can't get this yellow output all the way back up to the top. Yeah, I think we're just gonna move on from this tile. Next. Okay, this looks doable. Now we're talking. Honestly, I'm just gonna not overthink this one and just plop it down right here. Put out a reservoir and take my $4. I earned them, right? That was easy. Okay, next tile, I guess. I've got no choice but to connect it to some other machines if there are colorful outputs. Okay. Let's see what we can do with this bad boy. He's worth $8 if we can get him attached. And honestly, this green input, I'm feeling good about this one. Let's see, how can we make this work? Obviously, we want to connect it to this machine with 3 green output. So I just need some connectors to make this happen. And I think this is going to actually work out perfectly so I can connect this to 2 machines and cover a bunch of pips. I'm pretty excited right now. This is exciting. Okay, we'll start with a curved one, and then I think we just need 1 more curved piece. And now we've connected these 3 pips to this number 3, so we can cover that with a clear chip. Heck yeah, that's going to be a lot of points at the end of the game. Now we just need to make this connection happen. Boom. 2 more pips. Heck yeah. This is a productive turn so far. All right, we got to get this 1 yellow pip connected to our yellow supply reservoir. So that's going to take a few connectors. And there we go. And yeah, I think that just about does it. We used 6 pieces to connect that, so we're going to get $2. Okay, we're on to the final tile, and I'm actually really nervous because if we don't connect some more machines, then it's not possible for me to win. But we're going to make it happen. Actually, this looks like this could be a winner for us. We got to get this green connected to our green output. We have to make it happen. But of course, yellow is a problem. We would have to loop that all the way back around. Okay. This is still doable. It's just going to take some finesse and a lot of connectors. But we don't have a choice because if we don't connect this, we lose. So, got to make it happen. But where is the right spot? This pink must be connected. I think I'm going to focus on getting this pink as close to this 1 pip of pink as possible. That's going to be my first mission here. We'll just move this over so it's still powering this other guy. So we're good there. Now, this should work. Okay. 1 connection down. We can do this. We've got this. Make sure you get all your pips covered, guys. Very important. Now let's get this yellow connected first. Just a few connectors here. We've used 4 pieces so far, but we also placed the supply reservoir, so we're at 5. This makes 6, 7. 1 more makes 8. And then 9. Let me just recount that real quick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So we broke even on that one. That's fine. Cover up these pips right here. And yeah, we're done. Time to do our final scoring. And as I'm watching this video back during editing, I'm realizing that I did not count my pips correctly. I actually had 10 pips covered, so I should have got $30 instead of 27. Either way, that's a winning score, and I'm pretty freaking excited because that means I can move on to the next board.
Thank you so much for watching this playthrough of Factory Funner. If you have any questions about this game, drop them down in the comments and I'll try to answer them to the best of my abilities.